Reverend Dr. Henry Ndukuba has advised Christians not to be afraid and overtaken by challenges confronting them, says God has regard for all to fulfill his purpose. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Ajayi Crowther University ACU Governing Council, Dr. Olutoyin Okewo, says Ajayi Crowther University is in the process of repositioning itself to earn a place among the best 1,000 universities in the world. Plus, the head of Kabusa Ward FCT Abuja, Mrs. Lydia Mamman, urged Nigerians who are yet to collect their permanent voters card to go to their various wards and collect them before the process of distribution ends. And now the news in details. The Primate of all Nigeria and Bishop of Abuja Diocese, His Grace, the Most Reverend Dr. Henry Ndukuba, has advised Christians not to be afraid and overtaken by whatever is confronting their lives, saying even in face of all challenges that has made them worth nothing before the powers of the world, God has regard for everyone. He gave this advice while fielding questions from reporters in Abuja, urging everyone to look up to God.
We thank God that we are passing through what we are passing through as individuals, as families, as a people, and as a nation. And at such a time as this, God has regard for everybody. God has regard for the people, especially the downtrodden, those that are oppressed and are suffering, those that have no regard, no class. And I'm believing God that a good number of people in the world are passing through challenging times and things that make them worth nothing before the powers of the world. But the message to us is, do not be afraid. Don't be overtaken by the things that are confronting you. Look unto God. And I'm believing God that there is the purpose for God in the life of every individual, every family, and indeed for our nation, Nigeria. And that purpose shall surely come to pass. Because God has given us his Son, Jesus Christ, the Savior, so that we shall be delivered from the bondage of this world and be given hope and purpose to live to the glory of God.
As 2023 general election draws closer, the Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Ihiala, His Lordship, the Right Reverend Professor Israel Okoye, has advised Christians and Nigerians not to vote this time around with sentiment, but vote wisely and rightly, saying their vote will determine what they have chosen. Bishop Okoye gave this advice in an interview with Acnn News correspondent Caroline Asumbe, urging all to vote their choice in line with the will of God.
We call on Christians this time around, no sentiment. Our vote determines what we have chosen. So we must use our vote rightly to vote in people who will really bring transformation, people who will serve God, not those who are going to corrupt the system further and exploit us. There are many of them who are contesting who have no business with governance. So, but we have to open our eyes and make sure that our choice will be in line with the will of God.
The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Ajayi Crowther University ACU Governing Council, Dr. Olutoyin Okewo, says the university is in the process of repositioning itself to earn a place among the best 1,000 universities in the world. Speaking at a retreat organized by the institution after the inauguration of the new governing council at the school's premises in Oyo, Okewo said part of the process is complete digitalization of the school's various organs to make it accessible to the global community. Okewo said that the retreat will give the school the opportunity to build on the strong foundation laid by the previous council. It will also serve as an avenue to reposition the university among the best 1,000 universities in the world within the next 2 to 3 years, saying that about 40 years ago, Nigerian universities were among the best 50 universities in the world. Okewo added that the retreat will help to identify the challenges of the school and address them, as well as establish a bond between the school and the council and the school management. The chairman stated that to aid full digitalization of the school system, the council will ensure that every student has a laptop computer. While addressing the issue of attracting research grants to the school, Okewo said ACU will partner with members of the Anglican Communion who have demonstrated their willingness to offer assistance. The head of a Kapuza ward, FCT Abuja, Mrs. Lydia Mamman, has urged Nigerians who are yet to collect their permanent voters card to go to their various wards and collect them before the process of distribution will come to an end. Mrs. Mamman made the statement in an interview with Acnn TV at LEA Primary School, Galadimawa, Abuja, as she stressed that INEC is doing all it can to ensure that all Nigerians collect their PVC before the deadline for the process elapses.
When you come here with your slip, we identify your polling units, we now check the cards, then we'll give you. For those that have not collected, we have just few days. By Sunday now, it will end. And they brought cards yesterday, the printed ones yesterday. Those people that requested for printed cards, we brought you. As you can see, we are giving them, they are happy. They are still issuing the cards. So I urge everyone to come and get his card. If you are pregnant or you are nursing a child or you are an aged person, we give that preferences. It's under our ethics. That is, we give preferences to elderly people, aged, nursing mothers, and pregnant women.
Meanwhile, some of the people who have been able to collect their PVCs were overjoyed as they encouraged those who are still struggling to get theirs to be resilient. These Nigerians gave this advice in an interview at LEA Primary School, Galadimawa, Abuja.
I feel very happy to collect it. At least now I have my own PVC and I can vote. So I'm so happy to collect it. It was easy for me. So I'm very happy.
I was misinformed where I was supposed to pick my card. So I went to Kabusa initially. So then I directed me to Galadimawa LEA. So I got here this morning. I met some people and we thought it wise to make up a list so that whenever the INEC officials come, it will be easier. So I think we wrote out lists, some names, and I was number 6. So we now said no. In order for us to coordinate this so that this thing will move well, after collecting, I should step back. So I collected mine. It was so easy for me to collect. I collected and I stayed back to coordinate the line. And from the look of things, the thing is moving based on the coordination. Please, I urge those that have not collected, they should just try the midfield and come. They should go and collect their PVC. It's very important. We need it this time around. They should just come out and collect it.
On the 28th of December, I went to INEC office, stood for hours in the sun. And me, I'm allergic to sun. I stood for hours. Here, my husband, only for us to get in, search for my card. It was nowhere to be found. My husband was able to get his, but mine was not found. So we applied for reprints. They asked us to come to second week of January. So when we came, they said it has been carried to our ward, which is here, this place. So when we came, they searched for it, they didn't see it again. They said, no, that it has not been printed. It has not been printed. We went back again. My husband came again. No, wait. We went to INEC office today. They say no, that all the cards have been transferred to our ward. Now we came and I was able to vote. I am so happy. For years, I can't remember when last I voted. Have I even voted before? And this year I want to vote. That's why I came. No matter the frustration, I say I must collect my PVC.
Excited Nigerians there. Still to come, Catholic bishops in the coming elections warn against electoral violence. The story and others will come your way after this short break. Do stay tuned.
Hello viewers, welcome to this week's episode on Health Watch on Advent Cable Network Nigeria. I am Angela Emeka Ebibu.
What we need as humans is to have a good spiritual life. It's more important than having an abundance of possessions without a healthy spirit.
We have issues that relate to sexual affairs. There is something called consent. If a person says no, that means she or he hasn't given their consent.
My mother delivered children on her own. A baby that is too big, how do you want it to come out without having issues?
Your faith does not negate you going for a medical check or engaging in a medical therapy. It doesn't.
The patient has his own rights, and this right has to do with the right patient, the right drug, the right dose, the right duration, you understand? Even the right time in how it is given.
The generation we find ourselves in seems to be a generation where Christianity is practiced only inside the church. Once we step out of the church, maybe after the benediction, it seems like everybody, mark my words, everybody drops everything about Christianity inside that church and put on a new garment to business areas, to our homes and marriages, to our offices, public service and civil service, to the judiciary, legislature, and also those in the security agencies. How many of us are really carrying our Christianity to wherever we find ourselves?
I speak because I carry the resurrection power in me. And because Jesus is alive, I live until I fulfill my purpose. So no prophecy carry my picture anywhere. No prophecy will work out against me. Carry my name everywhere, it will not work out. Only the purpose of God, only the purpose of God. Wherever you are, only the purpose of God will stand.
The nation as a whole needs to start making the right decisions now, and it starts from us, the youths. So I think this is a very good platform and opportunity for everybody to exercise their franchise, come out, vote, and pick the right leaders. Because if we don't, it's going to affect our futures and the futures of our children tomorrow. We have leaders that are not competent, leaders that don't even know what it takes to be leaders, and they sit in there and do nothing. So when we vote, we tend to bring in the right people, and we just save ourselves the whole stress of starting from zero and doing things the wrong way. So we should just come and get our PVCs, very simple, and vote to exercise our rights. By that way, we'll save a lot of mishap in the future.
Welcome back. This is still ACNN News on the Hour. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or our social media platforms on facebook.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the Avo TV app from Google Play Store, and you can also advertise your goods and services on ACNN TV. Ahead of the 2023 general elections, as Nigerians troop to their wards to collect their permanent voters' cards, some of them have lamented over the process, saying that it is tedious. Speaking with Nwanne Ogechukwu in an interview at LEA Primary School, Galadimawa, Abuja, Mrs. Toyin said she has been going from one center to another to collect her PVC, but she has not been successful. She called on INEC and all those in authority to look for means to make things easy for the citizens.
The collection process is so tedious, very, very tedious. I've been on it for the past 2 weeks because I've never voted before, and I made up my mind that this time around I'm going to vote, and I'm going to give it all it takes. But as it is now, I'm not very sure I'm going to be part of those that are going to vote again this year. It's very tedious. For example, we were told at the Lugbe Primary School here last week that we should go to Amak. We were in Amak. They asked us to go to Kapusa. From Kapusa, they directed us here. And then I'm here. I have checked through all the bags. I could not get even alphabet O is missing. I have applied for reprints for the past 1 week. I could not get it. I've been going around since, and you know how tedious the thing is, and you want everybody to vote. There are better ways to make this thing. You can even ask me to pay, then you ask DHL to deliver it to me. I'll pay. It's as simple as that. You can use the post office, you can use the banks, we can even stay, we can be standing like this, and I'll give you my details. There are free cards. You just print for me and I go. I think that's the best thing. Instead of you to print for those that are not ready to vote, why those that are ready to vote are here, waiting endlessly, and the cards are nowhere to be found. There are millions of cards, nobody to claim them. Why don't we have a better arrangement where you come, like ATM, you have a lot of open and free cards, people come around, I give you my details, print it out and give it to me. It's as simple as that. We need to do better if we want everybody to be involved.
The Christian Association of Nigeria, Acnn, in Ogun State has endorsed the senatorial candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Afolabi Salisu, ahead of the next month's general election, with a pledge to canvass support for him and ensure his victory during the polls. The state CAN chairman, Bishop Acnn made this declaration when the campaign train of the APC senatorial candidate met with leaders of the religious body in Abeokuta, Ogun State. According to him, CAN has agreed that it will only support candidates who will deliver and have the masses in their hearts. He said, quote, "Our choice picking Salisu is based on competence because he has done very well in his capacity as chief of staff," end of quote. On his part, the endorsed senatorial candidate Afolabi Salisu said the current challenges rocking Nigeria would take a set of lawmakers of integrity, goodwill and character to be surmounted, promising the Christian community that he would remain just, fair and equitable to the good people of Ogun Central Senatorial District, as he has always done as a political appointee. The Catholic bishops of the ecclesiastical province of Lagos have warned against electoral violence in the forthcoming general election. This is contained in a communique issued by the Catholic bishops at the end of their first plenary meeting for the year 2023, held at St. Agnes Catholic Church, Maryland, Lagos. According to the communique signed by Most Reverend Francis Adeshino Didi, Bishop of Ijebode, and Most Reverend Alfred Adewale Martins Didi, Archbishop of Lagos, the bishops added that if the incessant attacks across the country are not curtailed, they are capable of truncating the electoral process. They also lamented the persecution of Christians in Nigeria, saying Christians in the country are facing one of the most challenging times since the attainment of independence in 1960. Commending the Justice, Development and Peace Commission under the Department of Church and Society of the Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria for all its efforts in sensitizing Nigerians to participate actively in the forthcoming national elections. They noted with concern that the forthcoming national elections commencing on the 25th February 2023 will likely be the most contentious in the history of the country, while calling on all eligible voters to ensure that they obtain their PVCs and come out en masse to cast their votes. They urged all to set aside ethnic, religious and political biases to vote only candidates who are most qualified to take our country along the path of true growth and development. Some clergymen from the Apostolic Christian Church Mission took to the streets of Aba, the commercial hub of Abia State, to protest the sealing of the church's headquarters on 34 Omuma Road, Aba. Governor Okezie Ikpeazu had ordered the shutting of the church headquarters following a protracted leadership tussle rocking the church. The order was contained in a statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Chris Ezem, dated December 31, 2022. The protesting clergymen who appeared in their cassocks sang gospel songs while marching through the Osisioma flyover to the Governor's Lodge to lay their complaint. Some of the displayed placards with several inscriptions and messages calling on the governor to reopen the headquarters. Spokes of the church, Apostle Christopher Ogbeago and Reverend Okuchukwu Onoga, accused Ikpeazu of allegedly trying to influence the leadership of the church to favor his kinsmen. The duo, who admitted that there was an ongoing leadership crisis in the church, which is currently before the Owerri Division of the Court of Appeal, wondered why the governor took interest in a matter as a non-member of the church. The statement made available to our correspondent by the group read, "There is a tiny minority of church elders, mostly politicians, who incidentally are relatives of the governor of Abia State, Okezie Ikpeazu, who want to foist an unpopular bishop over the church after the death of the former bishop." And at least one person was killed and 4 injured after a man entered 2 churches in Spain and attacked congregations with a machete, an act authorities are investigating as terrorism. In a report by Reuters, the man was said to have assaulted clergymen at San Isidro Church and Nuestra Señora de la Palma Church in downtown Algeciras. According to reports, the arrested suspect is 25-year-old Moroccan. The police have not released details. Francisco Garcia, Secretary General of Spain's Episcopal Conference, expressed great pain over the attack on the 2 priests, as Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez offered condolences on social media, while Algeciras Mayor Jose Ignacio declared a day of mourning for the city. Witnesses heard the suspect shout Allahu Akbar and death to Christians as he attacked the churches. One of the priests is still in serious condition after being stabbed in the neck. Meanwhile, the Interior Minister, Fernando Grande Marlaska, said he believes the suspect, identified by some as Yassine Kanja, likely acted alone with no third parties involved in the facts, as quoted by the Telegraph. Christian and Muslim organizations in Spain have condemned the attacks, while Spain's Vox Party reportedly blamed the government's allegedly lax immigration policies. And now the recap of the major stories. The Primate of all Nigeria and Bishop of Abuja Diocese, His Grace, the Most Reverend Dr. Henry Nduguba, has advised Christians not to be afraid and overtaken by challenges confronting them, says God has regard for all to fulfill his purpose. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Ajayi Crowther University ACU Governing Council, Dr. Olutoyin Okewu, says Ajayi Crowther University is in the process of repositioning itself to earn a place among the best 1,000 universities in the world. And the head of Kabusa Ward FCT Abuja, Mrs. Lydia Mammon, urge Nigerians who are yet to collect their permanent voters card to go to their wards and collect them before the process of distribution ends. Do remember to exercise your civic duties by collecting your PVCs and voting when it is time. This is ACNN News on the Hour. Thank you for watching. I am Lavinia Tadegrono. Goodbye for now.
Beaming from the nation's capital, we bring to you the good news through various programming, news updates, worship, and teachings.
The paralysis of sin makes us to be separated.